Wait.
You will see that.
So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stuff a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else. Watch.
Peace, light, love, family. 1 2 1 2. Gorilla Elite, bulletproof, nothing but the truth. So you know I gotta give it to you, man. Let's get right into it, family. The fight of the century is upon us. We gotta dig into it, man. Who y'all got, man? Who you got? You got Terrance Bud Crawford, or you got Canelo Alvarez? Who you got, man? So, I mean, this fight seems like it's up for grabs, right? It seems like it's up for grabs, right? That's what it seems like. But I think everyone is in for a surprise. Everyone is in for a treat. I believe all boxing fans, the boxing world is in for a treat. Also, we got to get into Crawford's secret. I'm going to touch on that later on in the video. You feel me? A lot of people know about this or understand this, but a lot of people don't understand this. You know, I remember Joe Rogan, he mentioned it as well. You know, but yeah, we're going to get into that later on in the video. We're going to talk about Crawford's, not really his, I guess you could say it is his secret in a way. I feel like it. That not many people really recognize, but it's really just his ability, his natural God-given ability. And we're going to talk about that. Now, we know Canelo Alvarez, he improved. You saw him level up after he fought Floyd. Canelo started to level up after his fight with Floyd. He started realizing, oh man, I really do need to, you know, pick it up on my defense. I really do need to use head movement, so flat-footed and not just fight in little spurts, you know, like he does. He kind of still does that till, you know, nowadays, but not as much, I guess you could say. When we're looking at Canelo, he's never been stopped. Maybe he's been wobbled a few times here and there. Nothing too serious, right? He's never been stopped. You know, Triple G couldn't put him down because we all knew Triple G was easy to be exposed, though. If you think about it, he had the power and the pressure. But if he would have fought a boxer that was even a little bit close to like Floyd, he would have been exposed a long time ago. But they kept on giving him low IQ fighters. Triple G was a one-dimensional fighter. Head always on the line. His head was always on the line. Like, it was crazy. Like, his head was literally, like, he blocks punches with his head. Like, his head was his defense. And that's probably why he really never went down. He just got so used to using his head as his defense, you know? But let's take somebody like, when he fought Lara. When Canelo fought Erislandy Lara, it was a whole different ballgame. He basically did get exposed. Like, I remember watching that fight, and I was like, God damn, he's not really able to hit him. Like, what's going on? And, you know, Lara still had those, like, stiff, you know, sharp, you know, straight left hands coming down the pipe, you know, and he was hitting them clean. You know, Canelo wasn't going nowhere, but, man, he was hitting them clean, and he wasn't getting hit. He was making them miss and making them pay, for sure. So just imagine someone doing that, but with a little bit more power. You know, imagine someone doing Canelo like Erislandy Lara did, but has a little bit more power and a little bit more snap to their punches. You feel me? So when you're thinking about Canelo, you're probably thinking like, man, the weight is going to be a huge difference. It's going to make a huge, if you think about it, not really, it's not going to make that much of a difference, especially if you fill in. When Bud fills in, that's another thing we got to get to. When Bud fills in, it's going to be a whole different ball game. Like, when he fills in, like when he was at 154, he wasn't really filled in. I think he just took that fight because it was like I don't know if it was mandatory or what, but I think he took that fight because, you know, he was just maybe trying to fill himself out, but he wasn't even filled in completely because his reactions, just like Jermell Charlo was saying about his brother. He said he felt his counterpunching was off, his reflexes was off because he gained all that weight or whatever. I felt like that's kind of what happened to Crawford in his fight at 154. I feel like he wasn't really filled in. He just took the fight. Maybe he was just trying to feel what it felt like to be in that, to fight at that weight class. And after that, he was like, oh, I know what to do next. I know exactly what to do next when I go up. So, but those are the two things to look at. Is this just a money grab for Crawford? Is he just coming in there? Is this just a money grab for Bud? Is Bud just coming in there like, man, this is the biggest payday of my life. I might as well get it over with. I don't care if I'm gonna hype it up as much as possible, make it look like I've been training hard as much as possible, but I already know the deal. As long as I go in there and just survive, I'm good. But we heard him say on Club Shay Shay that he's just doing this for his legacy. He's doing this to challenge himself, and he's already good. He can retire today, and he's good for the rest of his life. He don't need a big payday. That's what he was saying, right? He was alluding to that. He was saying something similar along that line. That, hey man, I'm just doing this to challenge myself. I don't really need the big payday. Whatever. If that's the case, Canelo is in trouble. If Crawford is, of course he's doing it to get paid, but at the same time, like he said, man, Crawford is a dog for real. Like he said that he's doing it for his legacy and he's doing this to challenge himself. So if that's for real and he feels that in his heart, like I'm actually doing this to challenge myself and like to really see if I can beat one of the best fighters in the world, then it's over for Canelo. Facts, my nigga. It's over for Canelo. I hope it is a small ring at this point, just in case. Just in case they hype this all up for nothing and it is a money grab, just in case. You know what I mean? Because if that is the case, Canelo better be cutting off the ring and he better get a stoppage. Might not get the knockout, who knows? But he might get a couple of knockdowns or whatever the case may be. And he should get a stoppage. But like I said, Crawford actually walks around. Let's get into the secret, actually. Let's get into Crawford's natural God-given ability secret when it comes to himself, okay? Crawford walks around, I believe, at like around 160 or something like that, 150, 160, really. But he just wasn't fighting at that weight, I believe. So, but I remember his trainer saying something like, man, he was already walking around like around 150, 160 or something like that. But he was going down fighting at 147, which is crazy, you know, but hey, it is what it is. So, but he just wasn't fighting at that weight, you feel me? So with that being said, it's like, damn, that means when he goes up to 168 and he fills himself in, meaning when he fills himself in, when I say he needs to fill himself in that weight class, and I think if he's really doing this for like, to challenge himself, and he's really about to go out there and do the damn thing, you know what I'm saying? And you know, shut out the lights, then him filling himself at 168, he's gonna have the same natural body movement as he did when he fought Errol Spence Jr. He's gonna have the same natural body movement as he did when he fought Spence, if he fills himself in, meaning he gets 100% caught up to that body weight. Meaning, of course, all his reflexes gotta be there, his natural body strength gotta be there, because his natural body strength is always going to be there, but I felt like it was still left behind when he did that fight at 154. Like it wasn't really already there. It wasn't completely all the way there because I don't think it was completely filled in. I think he just took that fight. Like I said, I think it was like a mandatory fight or whatever. But if he fills in at 168, it's over for Canelo. I promise you, it's over for this dude. I think he's getting stopped. I'm telling you, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Crawford's natural God-given ability or secret is really his strength. Now, I forgot what they call it, but like I said, Joe Rogan mentioned the term for it before. When it comes to wrestlers have, not all wrestlers, but they just affiliated with wrestlers because, you know, if you start wrestling at a really young age and you just keep at it, you would develop that this type of strength. And more like on the line of where you see a lot of brothers, you see a lot of people now doing like the bar weight training, the bar training, all the calisthenics and all that. It's more on that type of line of strength that I'm talking about. That type of strength, that natural body, body handling strength. So if Crawford fills into that 168 perfectly fine, it's over. Canelo is getting stopped, guaranteed. Go for one or two things, I believe, in this fight. Crawford by stoppage, or just go Canelo on points. That's how it's going to go. It's going to go one of those two ways. Because even if it is a money grab, I don't think Crawford is trying to just go out there and get embarrassed and be like, well, I'm in my career like getting knocked out or getting stopped. I believe for the most part, if it is a money grab for real and all the hype is fake, he's just gonna, survive. He's basically just gonna survive into the last round. Canelo wins on points. If Crawford is like, well, damn, I'm doing this for the bread and I'm about to, do this for my legacy, we're gonna see a stoppage. We're gonna see the knockout. And that's what I said. You could take those two picks right there. Either those two picks, Crawford by stoppage or Canelo on points, is gonna go one of those ways. You feel me? So that's what it is, family. Crawford has that extremely natural body weight strength. They just basically have like a lot of control over their body. Like there's no looseness in them. Like even when you see them shadow boxing and shit like that, everything look kind of sharp and like accurate. Like everything is smooth. Like you can see them, like you can see the feints, you can see the swift, stiff feints. But you notice in some people, you'll see like a little looseness in the arms. When they shadow box, like you'll see a little looseness in the arms and the shoulder. With Crawford, everything is 100% straight, stiff, and like you can tell it's sharp. He'll be like, like you could try to fill your body into that, but it has to be natural, really. Like, so basically, that's all natural, though. If you think about it, that's all natural. Since he's going up in weight, I think he has to fill into that. If he fills into that 168, it's over. We're gonna see the knockout, baby. Facts. But yeah, family, that's all I got for right now. I'm off to the next one.